Sorry if this is anti-Semitic, but I think it's wrong to train dogs to rape prisoners. One thing I try not to think about very often is how many reports we've been seeing about Israeli prison guards training dogs to rape Palestinian captives in torture camps like Sde Teiman. Dropsite News has a new write-up about a testimony from a journalist published by the Palestinian Journalists Protection Center. The reporter says that during his 20 months of hell in Israeli prisons, he was electrocuted, beaten, starved, and sexually assaulted on film. He also says he was sexually assaulted by a trained dog, just the latest in a long string of such allegations coming out of Israel's notorious network of torture prisons. Last month, Novara Media published an article titled "Israeli Prison Guards Are Using Dogs to Rape Palestinians," former detainees say, based on information collected by the Palestinian Center for Human Rights. The Electronic Intifada published an article titled "Palestinians Recount Gang Rapes by Israeli Soldiers and Dogs," based on the same testimonies. In August of last year, the New Arab interviewed a Palestinian law graduate who was detained by Israeli forces and said he watched as, quote, "a dog raped another hostage before my eyes after the Israelis poured some sort of liquid on him." In June of last year, Euromed Monitor published a report saying it had, quote, "received horrific testimonies from recently released detainees confirming the brutal and inhumane use of Israeli police dogs to rape prisoners and detainees," end quote. There are records of Nazis and Chilean fascists using dogs to rape prisoners in this way, though according to the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism that Western governments have been shoving down our throats lately, it is against the rules to draw any comparisons between Israel and the Nazis. So I am very sorry if this comes across as anti-Semitic, but I think it's wrong to sexually assault prisoners using trained rape dogs. I actually think that's one of the most evil things I've ever heard of. I am taking great pains to say I don't mean to be anti-Semitic with my anti-rape dog rhetoric, because apparently literally any criticism of literally any Israeli atrocity can land one with that label. Just this past weekend, for example, the pro-Israel group Stop Antisemitism announced that children's YouTube star Ms. Rachel is a nominee for its annual Anti-Semite of the Year designation. Now, to be clear, Miss Rachel has never at any time said anything negative about Jewish people or Judaism. Her one and only offense making her an Anti-Semite of the Year nominee is that she has been saying on social media that it is wrong to kill children. Opposition to murdering children by starvation and bombing campaigns is what led to this celebrity being accused of hating Jews. Why is an institution which calls itself Stop Antisemitism equating the mass murder of children with the Jewish faith? Why are they suggesting that opposition to slaughtering kids is the same as opposition to Jews? If it was my job to stop anti-Semitism, I personally would not be actively circulating the idea that massacring children is synonymous with Judaism or plays some special role in the religious practices of its adherents. To clarify, I am absolutely not suggesting that the mass murder of children is an important part of Jewish life. I think that would be a terrible thing to say, not much different from the libels which have been spread about Jewish people since medieval times. But it sure does sound like Stop Antisemitism is saying that. Maybe I'm just confused by this whole anti-Semitism label. Maybe it doesn't mean what I think it means. In any case, I do think it's wrong to murder children, and I do think it's wrong to rape prisoners with trained rape dogs. I truly do not mean to hurt anyone's feelings or offend anybody when I say this.